Hey everyone, welcome back to Redbanditracing. In this video, we have yet again another broken part, actually two broken parts on the Kraton. And they aren't drive cups this time. We did break a shock standoff, which is actually a pretty rare break from what I've heard. But yeah, the shock, I think the arm, well, the other thing I broke was the arm. I think what happened was the arm broke, which caused the shock to be pulled down as far as this arm can be pulled down when split in half, which is way longer than the shock itself. So I think the shock was forced down, which ended up breaking the standoff. I think the standoff would not break in a normal crash. I think this is a really durable part. I know M2C made some. What we do on the channel, we try not to upgrade to the max if we don't think we need to. That's why we upgraded to M2C drive cups, because we tried all the other upgrades before M2C, because obviously M2C is normally overpriced. Not overpriced, sometimes it's worth it, but there are some parts that are really overpriced. So yeah, I'll get you guys closer so you guys can see the exact break, and we'll start the repair soon with RPM arms and the stock standoff. Alright, so can any of you guys tell me where you see the break? Just pause the video when you find it. Yeah, it's right here. What we're going to do is we're going to take off this little shock cap. I think it's a guard. That's what they call it, the shock guard. Once you get this off, we can take out the broken piece from the shock. Then we'll take out the actual broken piece that's attached to the shock tower. And then we'll work on the RPM arms. We're doing the shock first just because I want to get the shock out of here, and when it's all alone by itself, it's going to be pretty easy to work on. Then we'll get the arms. Unfortunately, we do not have the rears yet. We have the top and bottom for both fronts. The rears will be upgraded as soon as we get them in. But yeah, also a quick side note, we do have some M2C drive cups. It will not be in this video because we do not have any problems with the current drive cups. We did actually loosen down the droop screws, which I heard was a really good thing to do. The tire is fully extended down, shock is fully extended. As you see there, the drive cup is sitting pretty comfortably in that, the axle is sitting pretty comfortably in that drive cup, and that was not the case before. It was always riding that edge, and when it rides the edge, on a normal crash, you're probably going to break it. Ooh, also, did not notice that. The top of the arm is broken as well, which is fine because we were going to repair all this anyway. I do not think the sway bar was damaged at all. Hopefully not. Toe link is looking good. So yeah, let's get this arm off. It's going to be a 2.0mm hex for the arm pin. And I don't know if I've ever brought it up on the channel. I think Arrma's system is, I think it's better than Traxxas. I like these arm pins. It's a pin that gets locked down by a screw. Traxxas has some stuff similar to that, but I think Arrma does it better. However, Arrma has a problem with rust. We clean all of our cars the same, and we have never gotten this much rust on our Traxxas cars. Also, I do want to point out the rubber boot, the dust seal, has finally torn. Alright, so once we got that off, let's move the car aside. Now it's time to work on the shock. This is going to be, I believe, a 5.5. You do need to hold the other side, and as you see, that is split right down the middle. I'm going to take our pliers, I'm going to try to pinch it like that to make sure not to damage the plastic guard on top. All I have to do is break it loose. There we go, which I haven't broken loose. Got loose enough to do by hand. Let's slide this out. Yeah, that split right in the middle. This will go into the pile of broken armor parts, which has really grown in just a month. Get that plastic guard off. Shock looks undamaged, which is good. And the seal also looks undamaged, but I think the pack actually comes with them. Oh, they do not. Well, it's good that's undamaged because you will not be getting a new one in this pack. Also, the part number is ARA 330816. Just need one of these, and I don't think we'll need another lock nut or a washer, but it's good just to have them. And if you're wondering, the washer goes on the inside of the shock tower. Actually the outside, technically. And now let's take this off. This is not going to be easy given the amount of room you actually get with this. This is going to be a 7. Try to get this off. Not a whole lot of room to be working on this. Also, while I'm doing this, I do want to talk a little bit about the broken parts of the Kraton that we've been having. There are a lot of cars that we have, and a lot of cars that weren't good until you get the initial weak parts out. And I'm still hoping that this is an example of one of those type of cars. I'm actually going to take off the body post. I'm just not having enough room. Should give me a little more leverage. But yeah, the drive cups were such a big issue when we first got the car. And M2C is going to be our last shot to fix that problem. The most commented upgrade was GPM. And I got halfway done filming this GPM video before I realized that GPM does not fit. We tried, it just does not fit in this type of diff. I'm guessing the people who are commenting to get the GPM didn't have the version 2 EXB like we do, because it just doesn't fit. This washer looks fine, but I'm just going to use the new one just to fully get done. That's supposed to be one piece, split in half down the middle. Now, we got the new piece. We are not going to do this yet. We are going to get the arms in before the shock. So we're going to leave all that aside. Now, let's get the arms fixed. Sway bar spoke too soon about the sway bar. Sway bar lost an important piece. It's not the worst thing ever. Sway bar is not the most useful thing on the car, but I'd like to have the sway bar. We're going to have to find a piece of that sway bar. That's fine. That's fine for now. Let's get these arms out. These are going to be a 2.5 millimeter hex. From what I've noticed, Arrma likes to keep their designs the same. If you look at all their other cars, the front of every car always has this type of suspension, this E-Revo-like suspension, which got discontinued by Traxxas. My original theory was this is a weak suspension type with a lot of problem, but Arrma's not having problems. These don't pull out. These screws never pull out for Arrma. These caps are always secure in place. These hubs don't have that many problems. We did break one, but that was because we were out there for over an hour filming Clash, and I took probably 20, 30 huge jumps, probably 5 to 10 pretty bad crashes, and we cracked one. Cracked, not broke. Yeah, it just makes me revisit the theory of why the E-Revo got the boot. Also why the Summit and the Revo aren't being sold anymore. Well, I think the Revo's still being sold, but that's it. Maybe Traxxas wants to stop doing the suspension type because they are being outdone by Arrma. I doubt that because of Traxxas' overconfidence to their brand. And once we get this done, we're gonna have to switch to a 2 millimeter hex to detach it from the toe link. There we go. Flip this around, 2 millimeter hex. With Arrma cars, you always have to break everything loose. All right, so this is off. Toe link looks fine. Like I said, sway bar is now missing the little clamp that keeps it in. Honestly, I might take off both sides because I feel like it's just a little bit of a fragile part that I don't want breaking. All right, so now let's get the arms out. How we're gonna do that is, if you guys look closely, I'll try to, this little screw right here on the red, you have to take that out for that top pin. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take off this little, I don't know what you call this. Trying to think of a word for this. A little guard. There we go. First time taking that off as well. Sorry if you guys can't see. Just got that out. There we go. Should pull right out. You also be careful of your oh, did not mean to hit you guys. Be careful of your spacers. You don't want to lose these. You want to keep the exact amount, or the handling of your car and potentially the durability of your car is going to be a little different. As you can see that, split the front arm, crack the bottom one in half. There we go. Now let's get this crossbar off. These two screws right here, take those out and slide out the crossbar. Take out this droop screw. Hopefully the droop screw will be a really big help for us, because these drive cups cannot keep breaking. Front left. These do look better. I always prefer RPM over any stock arms for any car, except for the Traxxas Max, because the Traxxas Max has the most unbreakable arms on the RC market. 2.5 years, we have not broken a single arm. Compare the front arms, it looks way stronger. This is night and day difference. And for the bottoms, they're about the same. I would say RPM definitely looks beefier, and I believe we can transfer over this little red cap. Even though I did get some people saying do not add this in, because you can shorten down the distance, which will make the axle have more room to go deeper into the drive cup, which is the same result as loosening a droop screw. Yeah, because you want your shock pin to go in from the front, so the holes are gonna go face the front. Let's try to get this pin out of the arm. This is not gonna be easy. All right, so we ended up getting the pin out. It took a ton of force because it is bent in not only one, but 2 different ways, which is terrible. I do have this new pin, which beautifully slides in and out through both sides. There we go. I need to check this pin because this is the second pin I've bent. And if you guys want the pin part number, it is AR330381. Next up, we're gonna get the front locked in. Make sure you get your 2 washers. You can put 1 washer on the front right now. Next up, you're gonna line up your front arm. You want it this way. The flat edge you want in the front. You're gonna wanna start, the pin is going to be the second lowest hole in the shock tower. Also, what I said about washers, spacers, you don't need spacers. There's no room. There's a little bit of a gap, but that's not enough gap to put in a spacer. The RPM spaces itself out almost the right amount. All right, so now we have that in. Let's put in this top screw. See, oh, right there. Or just hand tight. That's normally the way to go. Next up, we're gonna take this little red cap off of the original arm. There we go. And you can probably just, I'm assuming you can, just click it on to the RPM one. All right, so I did see that the drive cup is actually broken. It was slightly cracked down the middle. So I'm gonna repair that off camera real quick, and then we'll continue on with the actual repair. All right, so I went ahead and repaired that drive cup, and I put away the sway bar. I just don't see the purpose of the sway bar if you're bashing. We already did bend one in the rear, and we just don't want to break another part that is unnecessary. And also went ahead and put the body post on back on. So now we are going to reattach the hub. Slide this back in. All right, now I got that lined up. Let's get the axle in place and put it in through the bottom. All right, so yeah, it will take some time to get it in there and adjust, but once you do, you don't have to worry about it anymore. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is reattach this toe link. Once we get this toe link in, we will finish up with the shock. Start to screw it down. Sorry you guys can't see the way I'm having to hold this. There's not really a good way to get this on camera. All right, there we go. Now we got the shock. The problem with my shock is it's bent. So this will be, I believe, the 7th broken part we are replacing today. We did get new shock caps, and the weird thing about these shock caps is it doesn't say EXB on it. So it had me thinking that Arrma just doesn't sell these caps. You have to buy the entire shock, but these are the right cap. First, we're going to take this screw out of the cap. This will be a 2.0 millimeter hex. From what I've learned, you always want to break everything by hand with Arrma. Since everything they do is mostly metal, it's just not worth the risk of constantly stripping out screws. It's going to be hard to break loose with the spring on. Tighten it all the way down so I have more to grab onto. Alright, I think I have enough. There we go. As expected, the seal will stay in the cap. Move this to our little shock holder area, which does not fit the EXBs. I know you guys can't see it. It's on the wall. We use this for our temp scale GTR shocks. It holds them perfectly. Unfortunately, these are bigger. I'm hoping that will, hold on. There we go. Let's get a new cap. Let's get the seal out of here. As you guys see the difference in the shock cap. Very bent. One huge, very, very big difference I see. There is no screw in the new cap. Every website I went to said these were the right caps. I'm gonna very carefully try to lift this seal out. Just go all around, break it loose on all edges. Now let's try to lift. There we go. No damage. They are the same depth. These are definitely the same depth. Now I got the cap on. I'm going to secure it to the car before I do anything else. Ooh, no. Oh, no. Alright, so before you guys make fun of me in the comments, I was completely going for the wrong area. And I believe the arm is backwards. Well, luckily these arms just do a little twist, and that's that. Just do a little spin cycle. So one thing I do want to point out is stock arms only have one hole for the shock. Shock has to go in the same spot. RPM has two. So I am guessing it's going to be the outer one. Actually, the outer one kind of looks far. I think I'm going to go for the inner. We're going to go for the inner. So the screw rubs on the shock, the axle on the way down. You will be able to get all tightened up. Personally, I do not like Arrma's shock system. I feel like Arrma does really good on everything else, even better in Traxxas in my opinion, except for these shocks. I feel like they overcomplicated it, and in the process, they actually made it less durable than it should be. The short end, the short threaded end, is going to be facing the front of the car. And the back end will go through the shock tower, just like that. You're going to want to put the washer first on the back. Then you're going to take the big lock nut, the little ones for the front, and tighten this one on the back so it stays. Take the shock off. I believe you need to put the shock cap on before. There we go. This is alright. So all you have to do is tighten down these two lock nuts, and that is it. Unfortunately, that is not it. I forgot one piece. Alright, so before you put this in, remember that low rubber seal. You're going to want to force this into the shock cap. Then you want to put on the little plastic guard. Then you get that all in there. That should click in. There should be little to no movement in there anymore. Remember when I first put it on, that little movement, that should all be gone from that rubber seal. You put on the little lock nut, and that will be it. Alright, so I know I didn't do all the things. I still have to do this other side and the two rears, but it is the exact same process. The only difference is you don't have these little cantilever suspension hubs in the rear. So that just makes it all easier. You just take out the top and bottom pin, slide the new arm in. So I'm not going to do all three on camera because it's just a repeated process of the front. So yeah, the shock is all fixed up. So is the arms. In the next video, we are actually going to be throwing in these M2C drive cups. Once we throw these in, that's when we do what could be, yes, I'm serious, the final bash of the Kraton. The Kraton has had too many problems and too many breaks for us to continuously take it out. These upgrades, if you keep upgrading the car, yeah, it should get unbreakable, but what's the point of driving a basher if you just have to upgrade it every run?
All right, so that will do it for today's video. And yeah, I'm no longer wearing my sweater, so I don't really have a spot to clip this mic on, so I'm just gonna hold it. But yeah, that should be it for today's video. If you have any other tips are very welcome. The GPM drive cups that were recommended, unfortunately, like I said, don't fit. But every other thing you guys have recommended has worked for the most part. And yeah, if you have any other tips, just let us know. If you guys want us to keep seeing this Kraton, we have to get problems fixed, because we're getting tired of fixing it after every single run. The potential is there. I said this from the beginning. The Kraton has more potential than any other car we have. What it can do is top 3. Out of all of our cars, it is a top 3 performer. It is dead last in durability. Yes, I know some other cars we own are less durable, but they're not meant to do what this car does. This car needs to be able to handle what it can do. So yeah, if you guys like this video, like and subscribe. If you guys want to join our Patreon, help support the channel and support back to you guys can join. That is in the description. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.